Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio. I'm Fan for Racing Sharon, and joining us today is Jay Huseman. Welcome, Jay.
Thank you, and it is a time for the Xfinity. You mentioned it in the previous video. We're getting into the meat of their playoffs.
Yes, indeed. And this is the first race in the round of 8, so that's going to be exciting to watch. And Jay, have you checked out the entry list?
I have, and there's going to be some exciting things to watch there. Qualifying will still be interesting, but it's 38 drivers and teams for the Focused Health 302 Xfinity Series race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. If you don't know, that means it's a full field. No cars will miss the race. The notables they have listed, the number 07 will be Nick Lights once again. He's been in that car several times this year. Daniel Hemrick returning to the number 11. Corey Day getting one of his starts in that number 17 Hendrick Motorsports machine. The number 19 Joe Gibbs Racing, that will have Eric Almirola. The number 24, which I believe is a Sam Hunt Racing, is Trevor Bayne. I like that. And I like Austin Green in the number 32. That's another one been making some noise here in the last couple races. The number 35, that'll be Mason Maggio. Mason Massey in the number 45. Joey Gase going to drive the number 53 himself. Thomas Annunziato, the number 70, and the number 91 of Josh Bilicki. And I am going to pull the full list up because sometimes they don't have all the special ones highlighted.
Yeah, I was trying to follow along with you as you were going through it. William Sawalich is going to be in the 18. I think you pretty much hit on everybody.
I know we may cover it as a hot topic. Harrison Burton, they announced today, I guess, that AM Racing and Harrison Burton will be splitting. So look for more news, hopefully, on that of who's going to fill the seat and where Harrison Burton is going to go. That will be an interesting topic.
I'm kind of excited.
I think all the others are regular season drivers that I see on the entry list, and I don't see any TBAs. So
you mentioned it's the Focus Health 302 out at Las Vegas Motor Speedway this weekend for the Xfinity Series. It's a 1.5-mile asphalt oval that races this Saturday, October the 11th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So a nighttime race that will be on the CW network starting at 7 p.m. for pre-race coverage, as well as PRN and SiriusXM NASCAR Channel 90 for radio coverage. They will race a distance of 301.5 miles over 201 laps. Stage 1 ends on lap 45. Stage 2, also 45 laps, ends on lap 90. And then the final stage will be a 111 laps, ending on lap 201 for the Xfinity Series. Where are you going to watch? Well, Saturday, October the 11th, they will have the Xfinity Series practice and Continental pole qualifying on the CW app. That starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the race, as we mentioned earlier, starts at 7:30 that night on CW, PRN, and SiriusXM. So we have a lot of really good information here, Jay.
And it starts with this weekend marking the 37th running of a NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
And Las Vegas was on the Xfinity Series schedule every year since their inaugural race happened in 1997. So really cool that they've been there every year.
And they have found their home in the playoffs, as Las Vegas has hosted a playoff race every year since 2020.
And they have been the round of 8 opener every year since 2022.
So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, we mentioned this, the round of 8 races. That'll be Las Vegas, then Talladega and Martinsville.
And the lowest 4 drivers in points will be eliminated after Martinsville. Then we will have our final 4 drivers that will be competing for that championship.
And if you're not familiar with the playoff system, any win in the round of 8 by a playoff-eligible driver will advance them to that championship 4, this year being held at Phoenix.
And at least one driver will advance to the championship 4 on points.
Now, Connor Zilisch enters the round with a 57-point lead on the cutoff. That's the largest gap entering the round of 8 in a playoff history.
Wow, that's kind of interesting. Also, Connor Zilisch leads second place by 33 points. The other 7 drivers are separated by just 35 points.
That is impressive and tells you so much about his season. The 6 drivers from Brandon Jones in 3rd all the way to Sheldon Creed in 8th, which are the 8 remaining eligible playoff drivers, are separated by just 15 points, and that is why I love this playoff format.
You and me both. Now, Justin Allgaier and Sam Mayer are the only remaining playoff drivers to make the championship 4.
That's interesting, though. Everybody else would be new to the championship 4. Now, 4 teams are represented here in the round of 8. Junior Motorsports kind of hogging spots. They have 4 of them. But Haas Factory team has 2. Joe Gibbs Racing has 1. And Richard Childress Racing has 1.
And then we still have 2 rookies in the playoff, including Connor Zilisch, who's leading the points, and Carson Cavapel.
I know here at Fan for Racing, we've kind of highlighted the rookies, but it's been greatly overlooked due to that just dominant performance of Connor Zilisch. But Carson Cavapel, not having a win, but has had a very solid season, and you mentioned is still here in the round of 8. One thing to look at here, no driver has won the round of 8 opener and gone on to win the championship. And that's in the Xfinity only, because I'm going to point some things out when we get to the Cup Series.
Now, Connor Zilisch got his 10th win of the season at the Charlotte Roval, just to indicate how dominant he's been. He is the 6th driver in series history to win 10 races in a season, and the first since Kyle Busch, who did that in 2016. So it's been almost 10 years since we've seen that happen.
And after winning that Charlotte Roval, Zilisch holds the track record as the youngest winner on 10 different tracks. That is amazing.
It's really amazing what he's done all season long. And we've got a lot of stats here to share with you on Connor Zilisch. He extended his all-time top 5 finish record streak to 17 after winning at the Roval. So 17 top 5s for Connor Zilisch in how many races? It's amazing what he's done.
And his 10 wins on the season is the record for the most wins by a rookie.
His average finish in the last 17 races is the best in series history in a 17 race span, and that is at 2.1. That's phenomenal.
That's to be honest, that's almost unfathomable. I mean, an average of second place. That's first through third to get an average of 2. That is unbelievable. Now, he's also won 8 of the last 11 races this season, and that's the most in any 11 race span in series history.
And Connor Zilisch has won a whopping 34% of his starts is what he has won. That's the best win percentage also, all-time best win percentage.
And he has led in his last 18 Xfinity Series start. The record for most consecutive starts leading is 22 by Brad Keselowski. So he's 4 short of that if he can lead in the final or 4 more races yet this year. He could do it this year, 3-1. Yeah, he could tie that this year.
Now, Randall Burnett was announced as Connor Zilisch's crew chief next season when he moves to Trackhouse Racing in the Cup Series. So he's already set up for next season in the Cup Series.
And as we talked about his performance, that leads to the performance of the organization he drives with, and that's Junior Motorsports. And they as a whole, they've won 17 races this season with a series record 6 different drivers. And that's excluding Parker Kligerman, who, if you don't recall, won in relief role of Connor Zilisch. So Connor got credit for the win, but it was Parker Kligerman who finished that Daytona race and got the win.
And Junior Motorsports had at least one car finish top 5 in a record 31 straight races. I think that goes back to last year, Jay.
It does, and I think it's going to continue with just the drivers they have. Another one of those drivers is Justin Allgaier. That's where he's at now. He earned his 299th career top 10 at the Charlotte Roval. He will be the first driver in series history to reach 300 top tens. I say when he does, and I think it could very easily come this weekend at Las Vegas.
Yes, indeed. We'll see what happens. Now, Las Vegas is the sixth and last 1.5-mile race this season, and they've been fun to watch this season.
And my statement about Justin Allgaier getting it this weekend at Las Vegas, I hadn't read this stat line, but it backs up my statement, so I appreciate that. He won at Las Vegas in March, and that's his only win at the track, despite having 19 top 10s in 22 starts there. So to get that 300th top 10, he's done that 19 out of 22 times. I feel pretty confident in my statement.
Exactly. It's right on the mark. Okay, now the last 7 Las Vegas races were won by 7 different drivers, though, so that'll be interesting.
Well, I'm gonna read the notes that are given me, but it backs up what I said. Justin Allgaier is the all-time leader in runner-up finishes with 4 at Las Vegas. Top 5s, he's got 12s. Top 10s, we mentioned the 19, and then 4 stage wins as well.
And he's finished top 10 in 8 straight Las Vegas races. He's tied only with Noah Gragson for the longest top 10 streak at Las Vegas. So maybe he'll break the record this weekend.
Yep, I think that 300 is coming this weekend.
Yeah.
Now, 6 of the 8 playoff drivers finished in the top 10 at Las Vegas back in March. And this is where we were talking about the tight points battle. If 6 of the 8 battling for those points are finishing in the top 10, you ain't gaining but a point or 2 here.
It's gonna be a tight battle for sure. Because I think a lot of these drivers want to get that win before they hit Talladega. It's similar to what we saw last time with the drivers wanting to get the win before they got to the Roval.
That's right.
Okay, now Junior Motorsports won 3 of 5 races on 1.5-mile tracks this season. So that bodes well for that organization as well.
And this one's kind of interesting. Going back to Justin Allgaier, he's won or was passed for the win in 4 of the last 5 races on 1.5-mile tracks this season. So his bread and butter is certainly the 1.5-mile tracks. He was either leading or passed for the lead in those races.
Now, Austin Hill and Justin Allgaier, they're the only active drivers to win at Las Vegas in the Xfinity Series. And Austin Hill's going to be in the next stat as well.
That's right. Hill and Christian Eckes have won Las Vegas in the Craftsman Truck Series. So again, another series, but they still got that good experience when it comes to victory lane.
Okay, again, looking at Connor Zilisch, he leads the series with 10 wins, 18 top 5s, 20 top 10s, 951 laps led, a 7.9 average finish, and 8 poles this season. Those stats are just out of this world.
That really is. When you talk about an entire season so far, 7.9, that's pretty impressive because, again, you can't be perfect every week, but he has been darn near that. And he's also been fast. Along with Justin Allgaier, Connor Zilisch has won the fastest lap award 6 times. Justin Allgaier is second with 5.
Justin Allgaier leads the series with 13 stage wins this season.
And Allgaier's 28 career wins right now are 9th on the all-time wins list, and he is just 1 away from tying Matt Kenseth. That one I feel could come this year. I wouldn't necessarily put it on Las Vegas. I don't have the stats to back me up on that one. But he did get a win there in March.
Yep, we've been waiting for that next one for a while. Now, Justin Allgaier made his 500th career start at the Roval. He's the 5th driver in series history to make 500 starts.
And between the drivers and the organization, that leads us to the manufacturer, and that is Chevrolet. They have led 3,492 of the 4,569 laps this season, and that has increasingly gone up. It is now up to 76% of the lap.
And Chevrolet won 24 of 29 races. That's the most all time by a manufacturer through 29 races in series history. So many records being broken this year.
And we got some other history, and that comes from the crew chief side, as 5 crew chiefs got their first Xfinity Series win here in 2025 season. Chad Haney did so at Atlanta. Sam McCauley was victorious at Darlington. Adam Wall pulled it out at Bristol. Corey Shea was the man down in Mexico City. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. at Pocono, the one and done. I still think that is so awesome.
Right. 5 races this year ended in the last lap pass.
And this one, we've talked about it a little bit, but just let fans know, next year O'Reilly Auto Parts will replace Xfinity Series as the title sponsor starting in 2026, as they become just the 5th different title sponsor of the Budweiser, then Busch, Nationwide, Xfinity, and O'Reilly are your title sponsors of this second-tier division of NASCAR. And as Sharon mentioned, for this being the first race, playoff race number 4, it's the first of the round of 8. No drivers have their spot in the full driver, and it doesn't even show any possible points. So I thought Connor Zilisch might have a point scenario, but apparently not. So drivers that can clinch on their win alone, these are the 8 remaining drivers now: Connor Zilisch, Justin Allgaier, Brandon Jones, Sam Mayer, Jesse Love, Sammy Smith, Carson Cavapel, and Sheldon Creed. I will say this, it won't take much for Connor Zilisch to put himself in a position to be that one, if necessary, to lock in on points. But I think he gets a win too. Over the next 3, I do think he gets a win and does so by winning, because that's what he's doing.
Okay. Now, do you want to go over the reset driver points?
Reset at 3,071. We talked about the gap. He's got a 33-point gap over Justin Allgaier. Allgaier has a 20-point gap, though, from down to third place Brandon Jones, and that's where it gets tight. Brandon Jones at 3018 down to Sheldon Creed at 3003 is only 15 points. Sam Mayer at 3016, Jesse Love at 14, Sammy Smith is at 9, Carson Cavapel at 5, and then Sheldon Creed at 3. And oddly enough, we talk about this of how close it is. None of those are tied at this point. We'll see how that changes coming out of Las Vegas. But we'll talk about this as to why. With the 10 wins, obviously, you get 5 bonus points. Connor Zilisch has accumulated 71 playoff points that carry with you through the playoffs. Justin Allgaier is next at 38. Everybody else is 18 and down. That's why you got that 31, 33-point lead, and then a 20-point gap. That's all based on those playoff points that they accumulated throughout the season. So, but 71, that is just unbelievable and monstrous.
Yeah, it really is. 11 stage wins for Connor Zilisch, 13 stage wins for Justin Allgaier. So between those two, they've got 24 stage wins, which is pretty amazing.
Now, I will say this, granted they were taken away, but I see where Austin Hill, it shows him having 6 stage wins, and that was next behind Zilich's 11 and Allgaier's 13. He would have had 21 playoff points, which would have put him above Brandon Jones in third, but they were taken away due to a penalty and NASCAR imposed sanctions. I think he ended up like 22 points or 23 points. The 21 points wouldn't have gotten him into that next round based on his performance, but it would have made it a lot closer.
Yes.
And that might have changed how he raced in some race decisions too, though, if he knew he had them. But he had to make them all back up.
And, you know, I feel bad and I don't feel bad. I mean, he did commit the penalty. And so, you know, there's consequences for what he did. But it's got to be disappointing at the same time.
And I do want to give a shout out here. Again, we're down to 8. They started the playoffs with 12. The 2 of the 4 that got eliminated, Taylor Gray and Nick Sanchez, both rookies, they are currently then the top 2. Once you get knocked out, you still stay in the playoff bracket of 12, and you can race your way as high as fifth once we get everybody down to only the championship 4. Right now, Taylor Gray is leading that at 2,100, Nick Sanchez at 2,092, and then you drop down to Austin Hill at 2,080, which is a 12-point gap, and 2,060 for Harrison Burton. So those other 2 rookies that could have been, we had 4 in the round of or the initial 12, 4 rookies in there. And then Christian Ecke is the first one outside, not even in the playoffs, at 13th, a rookie as well. So the rookies, I think, had a good showing overall. They were overshadowed by one of Connor Zilisch.
Exactly right. And we knew coming into this season just how exciting it was going to be to watch these rookies race one another. But Connor Zilisch just kind of blew the doors off.
Yeah, you went with rookies overall. I thought you were going to specifically say Connor Zilisch. We knew how good he was coming in, and we did, but I don't know that we saw this coming, of this kind of dominance. I know we've had a couple in years past. Ty Gibbs most recently comes to mind, but not to this level. I think Connor Zilisch has set a whole new bar.
I think he has. It's going to be hard to beat him. All these records that he's breaking this year, I think it's going to be hard to beat those records in upcoming years. So we may see some records that are going to be long-standing for a while.
That certainly, I mean, you think about some of the ones we compared with of records he was tying or breaking, not just as a rookie, just in the year he's having, back all the way to the 80s with Sam Ard, who was the driver of the Xfinity. Actually, then it would have been either the Budweiser or the Busch. I think it was in the Busch Series label day. The Budweiser was a little bit before me. It was Busch when I came in. You're talking about a driver from back then of 80s of 20, 30-year records. That is what he is tying and getting associated with right now.
So he has been a superstar. There is no doubt about it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move on now. Do watch for more coming soon here in the Fan for Racing Radio. We've got the one more preview to do for the NASCAR Cup Series. And then on Friday, Taz and I will be here for the Fantasy Report to help with any fantasy picks that you may need for the upcoming fantasy games that are coming up. And then on the other side of the weekend, we'll do all of the reviews for the 3 races that are taking place this weekend, including the ARCA West, the Xfinity, and Cup Series. And then at 10 o'clock on Monday, that's our NASCAR Hot Topic Sound Off with Chris and Jay and myself talking about the hottest topics from the weekend of racing. So definitely looking forward to all of that and the racing this weekend. I've had the pleasure of being at the Bull Ring. It is a pretty nifty little track. And if you get a chance to go out to the track this weekend, Las Vegas Motor Speedway is a really nice facility, and some really great racing goes on there. So check it out.
I was going to say, that is one that I know you've said that, and I am jealous of. It certainly is on my bucket list.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We do appreciate each and every one of you. And we hope you'll follow us right along to the next video as well. Jay?
Yeah, that would be the top level of the Cup Series, and it's the top level for a reason. I'm looking at it right now at the point standings, and yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay, now. See you soon.